Alright, so welcome back. In today's video, I recently bought an interesting model that I have to pretty much show off, test run, all that stuff, which is this. It's a Hungarian electric engine. I don't know how to pronounce the company that made it, but yeah, it is Hungarian, and all I know about it to an extent is that it hauls passenger. So, I'll get it out of the box in a second, and we'll go over this engine. So before we get into any of that, first off I wanted to sort of go over just how I got it. I had a few engines that I wanted to get rid of, and a friend offered to trade this engine and some money for one of my other engines, which I have agreed to, just because I didn't really use it nor need it. So I have this engine now. I'm not so sure whether or not I'm gonna keep it, sell it, upgrade it. I don't know yet. So I just wanted to make this video to go over it. So first off, this isn't really going to be a full-on review, and I just sort of simply want to go over this box a little bit. There's not much aside from it's really basic, and if anyone wants to see some information about it. The only thing that I found that I don't particularly like about this box is how the engine's packaged. It's just styrofoam. So I'll pull the engine out. It's my only complaint with the packaging, and we'll go over the engine itself. So, got the engine out of the styrofoam, and first off I want to go over the details of this thing, which are sort of interesting. If you know Kato models here, how you have to hand apply them, you had to do that with this, and the guy that I got it from basically did it all by hand, and I had to do a few, which it was sort of difficult, which is one of my few complaints about the thing. So first off, there are these handrails here. And what I was told is that they weren't long enough to actually reach over and go into this hole where they're supposed to wrap around to. Then you got some little, I think this is some sort of air hose or something. And some other front detail and a little hook. Another detail that I'm not so sure that I like are these mirrors, which it's kind of cool to have a model with mirrors that stick out, but they were very hard to get to stay in place. Same story on this side. These side step ladders are also pretty hard to get in place. Then the roof, you have to just install the horns, and I'm not so sure, but it might have been the pantographs, which, also interesting, do have spring functionality, and they are also electrical pickups if you have overhead wires, which I do not. One of my few complaints about this model is, and I'm not sure if it was missing it when I got it or not, but it's missing this right buffer here, which, yeah, I don't know, it might be me having dropped it somewhere, it could have just been missing, I don't know, but I'm not the happiest about it. There's also this mirror here that went missing, which I need to find and reapply soon. So yeah, those are just a few issues. I also am considering changing out these couplers to be just, for this one video, at least one of them to be a knuckle, so I can actually pull a few passenger cars and get a video clip out of it. But yeah, that's the overview of this engine. I do like the scheme. I also am a big fan of these windshield wipers. But yeah, that's the brief overview of this. And we might as well go run it on the layout once I fix that mirror. Alright, I've got that sunshade reapplied, but one little thing that I'd like to sort of go over before we test run it. If some of you remember my other layout, it isn't gone, but I've just been using the smaller red circle layout I have as of recently, just because the other layout needs a whole bunch of work. I want to redo it, and I need to get more supplies and stuff for that. And it's in a shape that it needs some work already in terms of tracks, so I can't really use it for the time being. So for now, the red layout works for just simple running stuff, but probably not many running training videos will happen here for quite some time until I finish that layout. So with that out of the way, we'll go test this now, and after that we'll install a coupler and run this with just some American passenger cars. Alright, so I've got this little electric set up on the track, so just as an initial test run, let's see how it does. Seems a little bit louder than I was expecting. I'm also noticing that just going in the other direction, not this way, the back coupler seems to like to bounce around a lot, so it might be a loose truck cover or something causing some noise. I plan to want to swap that coupler out with a KD anyway, as soon as I'm done filming this clip. yeah, that's the initial test run. I'll let this break in, see if anything changes. If not, I'll come back when we've swapped a Katy onto it and have some cars behind it. Alright, so I've got an entire train of Santa Fe lightweight coaches set up. But before we get going, I'll just say about half of these coaches aren't mine. I'm helping a guy at the train club that I go to fix them up and thought this would be a great way to test them out. So, let's get this train going and get some clips of this engine running around. I guess it's finally time to bring this train to a stop. So, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this review of my new Hungarian electric locomotive.